everyone. Welcome to a brand new episode of Trader Babes. Today we have a very special episode for you. We are being joined by the Atlas Momentum team, and they'll be answering questions that you guys submitted to us on our Twitter at Trader Babes, and we'll be discussing their time in Atlas with them and things that they're seeing in the current market. As always, I am joined by my amazing co-host, Aria.
Hey, Erica. I cannot wait to hear from this group. They're all very great traders. Today's episode is going to be jam-packed. So let's get started. And why don't you introduce our first guest?
So our first guests are a trio or a trifecta of Momentum team, as they're referred to. They are none other than Bearfucker, Trogdor, and Rodessa.
All right.
Hey guys, how are you?
Good.
Good, thank you.
Can we hear everybody? Trogdor, are you still with us?
Trogdor, yeah, I'm here.
Okay. Thank you guys so much for coming on and speaking with us. How was everyone's day today? You guys feeling good? Ready to go?
Yeah.
Can I just say something? Look at Bear. He's a little silver fox. Look at him. Look at him.
Are you advertising Bear on the podcast?
I'm just saying. I'm just making a statement. Like,
Where are you? You're supposed to be on video, buddy.
who, me?
Yeah. Where's the handsome Troganator?
Yeah. Well, maybe halfway through, I'll do a face reveal.
Do a surprise reveal. So we're going to start things off with Aria. Aria has a question for you guys.
Sure.
So first and foremost, how is your trading today? We're going to start with Bear and Rhodes, and then we'll go to Trog. Tell us what you did today.
Sure. Today went pretty well. Me and Trog and I were on voice this morning along with Rodessa, feeding through his Twitch, and quite a few of us in Momo chat ended up on TYHT earlier in the day. So that one started paying us. Most of it felt like a slow morning, but it honestly started picking up pace quite rapidly. TYHT, I took higher, Cron. I think the whole team went on WBT. So there was quite a few good runners in Momo chat called out in Atlas today. So I thought it was a good day. Started turning the corner back to a green streak, I think.
And how about you, Rodessa?
Hello, everyone. Thank you for having me on.
Hey guys,
today,
Rodessa.
thank you for having me on. Today was pretty good. We saw a lot more follow-throughs, a lot more momentum than we have seen in the past 2 weeks or so. But I definitely don't want to get overexcited because I have seen a slow market where you do have this, let's just call it like an anomaly day, and then we go back to the regular scheduled routine of a slow market. So, I have high hopes that tomorrow's going to be good, but I'm still going to, reduce my size until we actually get a runner over, 50%.
And how about you, Trog?
Yeah, pretty good. Bear kind of explained most of it. Yeah, I mean, everything was green today. So today was kind of like a super refresher. You could have basically hit anything that was low and you're going to get at least 7% out of it. But yeah, it was super refreshing to not have to pull my hair out in the middle of the trade, because it's just fucking, yeah, I'm pretty happy after today.
Yeah, I think everyone experienced that relief of being able to find volume and movement in quite a few names, as you guys said. And that is your area of expertise, is trading the runners. For those of you who don't know, I was part of Atlas's Momentum team for a very long time. I went in and lurked and learned from these guys. They are amazing traders, and their day trading skills are priceless, what they teach you in there. I love how you guys concentrate on the big runners, things that are moving 100, 200%. You guys are on it and helping everyone there figure out how to trade it, even if it's halting. You know, you guys really know your stuff, and it's amazing. And I'm so glad to be able to share with our fans a little bit about you guys.
Sure, thanks.
Heck yeah.
And talking about the current market, my first question is for Bear. A lot of people associate momentum trading as solely focusing on small caps. And besides today, we didn't see a lot of small cap movement. Is that traditionally the team's specialty, is just in like the penny stocks?
We do focus more so on low cap and smaller caps up to maybe 150 to 200 million market cap size, just because we do have more volatility in that sector, that market, and it's just easier for everybody to make a little bit more easier judgment on a stock that has big moves. But it's not always the rule of thumb. We do focus on sometimes mid caps, or we'll dive slowly or just steadily into some bigger names like Tesla. I know a lot of people in Momo chat play, especially in the mornings when it's slow. But our specialty is definitely the smaller caps under $20, and we focus on big moves. You know, 10% is kind of our minimum that we're looking at. So,
Gotcha.
so yeah, you can definitely say our focus is small caps.
Interesting. For the past few months, I feel like we haven't seen many small cap runners. Is there something the team is focusing on, Rhodes?
Recentering.
Yeah, and that's we really like to focus in on certain sectors, and we'll really dig hard to find movers. I feel like we usually will find something. We're really focusing on finding the diamonds in the rough most days, especially in the slower markets. That's what, having three of us, or and really we got a huge team now built up of a lot of great traders in Momo Chat and Atlas, that all contribute to finding diamonds in the rough every day. So I mean, it's not hard to find good plays when you have a really good team. So yeah.
And could you tell us a little bit about the adjustments you've each made in your trading to adapt to the slower market movement? We'll start with Chogdor on this one.
Yeah, really, to me, it's just you got to size down. For the past week and a half, I've been using maybe half to a quarter of what I would actually put into a trade. So it's been a real but something I said today and the other day was that you have to get extremely specific on your entries, down to almost the exact cent on where your entry should be. Because if you're looking for a 10-15% runner, which might maybe you think yesterday was the largest, every cent's going to matter in that. Rhodes is in a slow market. Rhodes is there's no one better than him. So these past 3 weeks, Rhodes has really taken the reins throughout the day, for the team leader and everything, and he's really able to find those potential runners, the ones with the correct Momo. And he's been doing Twitch a lot lately, because this is where traders learn, is in these kind of slower markets. But yeah, so it's just been less sizing and more specific. And instead of going out and playing lottos, you're going to have to only trade 1 to 2 tickers, and really reduce the rest of the noise there.
Right, being more speculative with the trades that you're taking. And Rodessa, would you tell us a little bit more about that? Because they say you're quite an expert in these slower markets.
Yeah. Thank you, Chog and Bear, for your input. I guess to adapt to the market a little bit, you definitely want to be more quick to profits. And then also too, it's very valuable to learn this now. And you need to learn how to sit on your hands. A lot of people I see, newer traders in Momo chat and Momo floor trader chat and Atlas, etc. They'll be trying to play everything like it's a hot market, and without volume, things just aren't going to go. I think it's more crucial now to focus on volume. Volume is king in any market, but the problem now is you can have a ticker with a breakout chart that has tons of range on the daily chart, right? So it has high price targets, so high reward. And you can have that same chart in this market and the same chart in a hot market. And in this market, it just will not go if there's no volume. And if it does go, you're going to only go to a, X amount. You're not going to reach, parabolic move, breakout moves. So you have to really analyze the market environment you're in, figure out if it's even worth trading something in Pennyland today. And if you are, you got to be quick to that profit. You might miss out on a move, but in the grand scheme of things, it's very crucial to lock in those profits and not give them back. The idea here in this market isn't to set your record goal. It's to, do the best you can, learn how to make money in this market, but get a nice little green cushion off of these small scalps and be happy with that, and don't expect too much more.
That's really good advice, because so many newer traders are used to coming into the hot running market, and they're used to trying to go after the slam dunk plays. I think this past year we've seen more new traders enter the market than maybe ever before, and I know that your team has grown exponentially with it, with more traders looking up to you. How do you manage to day trade and scalp while being on voice and giving feedback over Discord and social media, and now your Twitch, Rodessa?
For me, it's, I'm always going to manage my trade first and foremost. And, above all else, what really it comes down to is I'm charting on one screen. And then, I have my execution orders pretty much already set. So I really won't need to go to them. So we're in a hot market, or we're in a slow market, like I said, right now. So where I want to get out, I'm setting orders there. I'm not looking to see what the price is doing at that point. Whereas in a hot market, I might look at, if it comes to this level, let's see, how much momentum we have, how much volume we have, and possibly we can get a continuation. So I don't want to set my, hard stops, whether that be a stop loss or a limit buyout or a limit sell out. But yeah. So just in short, I try to manage my trades the best I can, but I do look to help people throughout the way. For me, twitching is a lot more easier, right? Because if you guys ever see me in Momo floor, I'm constantly updating the chart, giving commentary on it. Whereas Twitch or on voice, we're able to, speak out our thoughts in real time, not that delayed like 5-10 seconds to type, and people see what's going on heads that way. So I think that's beneficial for me. And in terms of speaking it out, being able to hear myself out loud, it's like you write better to read it before you admit it, because there might be a bunch of errors. And then it's also good for other people because they're able to get a glimpse inside of, what's happening in my mind and Bear's mind and Trog's mind.
That's a good point, because when you go to watch like a YouTube channel of something later on during the day, you're not getting the trader's inner thought process, that's happening at the time.
Yeah, the real time.
Yeah, when they're going back to review it, it's different than the thoughts you're having in real time. So that's amazing that you give the group that insight. And yeah, Ari, I'm sorry, I think I interrupted you.
I just wanted to add, initially it was I wasn't really fond of doing it. Like if we go back into a hot market, I might stop doing Twitch. I'll do my after hour reviews, but in this market, it really helps me eliminate any bias so if I'm long on a trade and I'm verbally talking it out, I have Trog's opinion, I have Bear's opinion. It's not just me behind a keyboard typing, right? We have people behind the trade giving their thesis as to why it should go up. And we have 3 people with 3 different minds. So people are able to see, multiple perspectives, including myself, right? So it helps me figure out maybe I'm wrong on this trade and I need to cut it.
Yeah,
But when in a
definitely.
hot
Trading with a
market,
team is huge. You know, the more eyes, the better. That's a good point that you bring up.
Yeah. I was actually curious, what questions do you get asked the most by traders?
what's your price target?
Yeah, or what should I buy?
Are
What
you
should I
still
buy
in?
today?
Yeah.
Are you still in this? Yeah.
Yeah, I
No,
think
but
The ones I guess the ones I like to hear the best are like, what tools do I use? What indicators do I use? You know, do you see a chart you like? You know, those are the questions I like to see, you know.
Sure.
The ones that are insightful rather than just trying to get you guys to do the trade for them, pretty much,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
yeah.
We like to see people are eager to learn. You know, I like helping people that show interest in learning the details, you know, not just, you know, hey, you know, hold my hand, will you? You know, so
Of course.
I
That's
agree
part of the
with that. And I
reason
also,
we, when we're on voice, we don't bring up the screen because, we'll be talking through a trade, but we want everybody to bring up their own screen and, see what we see and find it on their screen and not just stare at ours. So,
yeah.
and it's a lot
Humans don't
easier
do
when,
that.
it's when Bear, Rodessa, and I, we're all on voice and we're just, we we talk a lot of shit to each other and whatnot, but, it's all banter. And a lot of times it's easier to be on voice and just, it gives a little fun edge to trading. And yeah, it kind of helps, walks what, we can kind of compare ideas, quicker. And it's better than typing everything out is, kind of what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
And I wanted to ask each of you guys, why day trading? Did you guys each start off as day traders? Like, what is it about it that is what you prefer to do? We can start with Bear.
No, I didn't start day trading. I did a lot of swinging when I first started trading, just because I was still managing a company that I owned still to this day. But I was much more involved at the time, so I was doing a lot more swinging and doing value investing and stuff like that. But as I started getting better at trading, I really started diving into the day trading part more so for freedom. I find day trading gives you a lot of freedom to where you're not sitting there babysitting your positions. You can practice nail and bail. If you want, if you got something to do that day, or if it's a nice day out, you can go do whatever you want. That's really what attracted me to day trading originally, and still what draws me to it to this day. I mean, I could swing. I'm a very capable swing trader, I feel, but I feel that I have to manage the positions to be really, really good at it. To where day trading, I can get in and out and go enjoy my day. So that's big for me, is the freedom. I think is number one. So
That's a good point. And how about you, Trogdor?
Yeah. I started, I guess, as a swinger, not like a swinger, but um, hold on, let me take a step back.
Not that lucky, yeah.
That's not getting edited
TMI.
out. We gotta leave that in.
No, yeah, leave that in. So yeah, it was, I haven't been trading that long, and what really kind of triggered me was like, I'd wake up in the morning and I'd see things up like 100%. I'm like, dude, there has to be a fucking way to get in before it moves 100%. So that's when I started learning, a lot of technicals. I started looking at it, and the market was relatively hot. So I was getting good runs. I was looking for breakout patterns, and a lot of I use the weekly and the monthly a lot, and things that look like they're about to, that are at resistance and look about to bust. I just got in them, and then from there, I saw all these intradays, and I'd be waiting, 4 days for a ticker to run, anywhere from 20 to 100%. And these intraday trades, I'm like, wow, dude, how are these guys catching, 40, 60%? And yeah, and then I started, practicing a little bit with the cash account. I ran into Rodessa, B Dog, and Shark and Bear, and they kind of helped my journey a little bit in that area. So I'm still, obviously not the best trader in the world. I will never be the best trader in the world, but yeah, I'm always here to learn, and kind of I like to think of myself as 100 different traders in one body. I try to learn from everybody, even new traders, because new traders can come in and provide a new perspective.
And it's true that we never stop learning in trading, right?
That's absolutely. Yeah.
It's probably an endless process, but
it really is.
It is. It's the never-ending story.
Yeah, there's always something else to learn.
Yeah, the market's always trying to trick you somehow.
Oh, that's true. That's a very good point. And how about you, Radessa? What is it about day trading that you like the best?
I think what initially pulled me in was, if I'm honest, probably like YouTube videos saying like, hey, I made like this amount, I called like a 100% play or whatever. Also what attracted me though too was my naturally I'm impatient. So a day trade offered me something that I didn't have to sit through, like a swing trade. I've come to learn actually that I like swing trading probably better. I'm not the best at it, but I'm probably better a day trader. But I do like, what Chalk was saying, where you could wake up to a swing potentially gapping up, right? So that's a great feeling. I do love day trading though, but what shifted me towards day trading was those quick gains that you could get. And then at the time, I really started to dig into things. Shark was the first person I initially met on StockTwits, and he'd answer every question I had. Then I somehow got into Atlas, and then there the founding fathers were in Momo chat, were Bear, Emperor Trade, Shark, the big dogs, right? So under their direct guidance, I got better and better at day trading. But one thing to note, though, when I started my journey, I was just like everyone else. I took alerts, but I quickly realized that alerts weren't ever going to get me that far. And, in a hot market, you can take Zach Morris's alerts, you can take PJs, you can take Bears, you can take anyone's, and you'll likely end up green on the trade. But that's not going to make you a self-sufficient trader, self-dependent trader. I quickly realized that I just needed to stop that. So I stopped that immediately, and I started to learn from their alerts rather than to take them, which, arguably was probably, I could have done both, but I really didn't want to take their alerts. I wanted to find my own plays. And by doing that, putting my foot down and not taking their alerts ever, I was able to do that, I think, faster than I would have if I would have continued to, take their alerts. And I became more consistent at a faster pace. But that kind of sidetracked. But I do think it's important to note, these resources we have are great, but use them as a learning resource, not as an alert resource.
That is very true. We were actually just talking about this on a recent episode about how so many of us, when we first start, we make that mistake of blindly following alerts. And just because someone called it out, that's why we go in and buy it. So that's great that you from the start didn't want to do that. And I can't stress it enough how important it is that we tell everyone, do not blindly follow alerts.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
You guys have
yeah.
Go ahead.
So like I was saying, on hot markets, you can follow Guru's alerts and everything. But to me, I think it's more valuable to just sit on your hands and find one on your own. Like, learn from it. And you can take it, right? It's kind of saying no to free money if you don't take it. But, learn from what they're looking at the chart. So if they post that in a Discord at 9:30 or 9:45, look 2-3 minutes before then, see what they're seeing on the chart and figure out why they were bullish on it. And doing that every day, going back to Bears charts, going back to Sharks, going back to Trogs, I was able to see something that I initially couldn't see, and I learned faster that way.
Yeah, I feel that, dude. And another thing is when someone makes a call, you should have an original idea. And if somebody, that you look up to or respect as a trader, they mention the same thing, that kind of gives you confirmation. Okay, I'm doing well. When I first started trading, I'd be like, oh, what about this one? And I'd be looking at it, and then Zach Morris would call it, or Bearfucker would call it, and it'd be like, oh, well, it gives you a bit of confidence, and you're like, okay, well, I kind of know what I'm on the right track at least.
Yeah, and then that could also work in the reverse too. For example, Barry Brady taught me that influencer presence on a ticker is crucial, especially for swing trades. But I don't have Twitter up. I use Twitter as a resource to figure out what influencer is on which ticker, because that does have an impact on the direction of the ticker. But I don't have it up intraday. I think it's too much noise intraday. I think if you start to see multiple people bullish on it, that's not always a good thing. In fact, that could actually be a bad thing when all the heavy hitters are on one ticker. But like I think you need to silence that noise, stick to like your favorite chat room, in this case Momo Floor, Momo Chat, right? And pick your favorite person, watch them, but don't look at everyone, right? Just pick your favorite person, favorite top 3 favorite people. But if you have like Twitter up and you're looking at everyone, right, that's bad, because you might have someone like Nate come in and be like give some cryptic message, and then you're like, shit, should I get out of my position, right? And you're going against your initial thesis when you start to see these outside sources come into play, and that could be bad for you.
Yeah, I agree with that. The mental preservation is important in this game.
Bear, can you give that explanation, bro? The mental preservation, because that helped me so much. Like Bear's like huge into psychology, and like he's there. To me, I think psychology is the biggest part of trading.
I agree.
But yeah, Bear's been like just a fucking massive mentor for so many people, and he always could, yeah. So
I'm excited to hear it. Tell us more, please.
So I guess, what was the question there, Chong? What did
yeah,
you want to
kind of go into what mental preservation is, because in this market, that's been the biggest thing that's helped me through it.
Oh, sure. Just the fact to to keep your mind fresh and not overthink things, and if you're looking at stuff too hard, you'll get mentally fatigued, which is something you really gotta watch, especially in trading. That mental preservation, I always call it. It's just maintaining the energy you have in any given day or any given activity, to make sure you can maintain it to the end. If you burn yourself at both ends of the candle, like they say, you'll eventually burn out. So you don't want to do that. So that's important. If you're feeling beat up, or if it's a bad day, it's better just to walk away than keep fighting and lose that mental power you have over yourself. So
that's, yeah, for any gamers out there, I call it mana.
Yeah.
To add on to that too, though, I mean, you can branch off in a few different ways there. For example, sometimes in this market you can burn yourself out, like Bear was saying, looking at a bunch of charts, figuring out that there's nothing, and at the end of the day you did all this work for very little return. There's also, you can branch out to mental preservation in terms of holding tickers that are red, right? It's good to be used to a trade being red if you're a swing trader, but obviously you don't want to turn into like a huge bag holder with a huge position. So I always say, we get these people who ask us these questions. It's like, I'm down on this trade, what should I do? In my opinion, the best thing you can do is to start with a clean slate the next day, which would entail cutting that position, starting fresh, getting that, make sure you're preserving your, what did you say? Your mental, making sure
your mental fortitude, your mana, as Trog calls it, your mana. It's kind of like your energy force.
Yeah, it's just really important to have a clear mindset, right? And if you're making a trade and you're holding multiple bags, you're just not going to have the same mentality that you would if you were to go into a trade with a clean, fresh, clean mind. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's your confidence, your courage, your preservation, them are all factors in your mental preservation. Them are all things that are important as a trader, that you want to keep strong. You know, not only you want to keep your wallet fat, but you want to keep your confidence up. You want to keep your courage up. You know, you want to be able to dive into that next trade without hesitation. You know, and that's one thing we always post that lion video in our in Momo chat. That's super important. You know, you can't be scared. You know, scared money don't make money.
Yeah.
You know, so
That's true. I feel like one of your biggest enemies in trading can be yourself when your confidence gets beat down, because then you're just second guessing yourself, and you're just like, you end up getting stuck in this spiral or merry-go-round of negative emotions kind of controlling all the decisions that you're making.
right.
Yeah, there isn't enough to worry about while trading. You want to trade in your best version, you know.
Exactly.
Yeah, and
you want to be your best you when you sit down at the trading station every day.
yeah, and to branch off one more, Ripster brings up good points always. He says, you know, when you if you're trading bad, right, and you don't know why, it normally could have, or it could be caused due to the fact of where like the money you're using. Like sometimes people can't risk the money they're using, right? So you got to make sure that you're in a situation where you can risk that money, and I think that'll give you a little bit of a confidence boost, I guess, or just a clear mentality to go into a trade. Whereas if you're playing with money that you can't trade with, right, or that you shouldn't be trading with, or that you can't risk, you know, you're gonna be making a lot more mistakes. You're gonna be a lot more hesitant, and in this game, you can't be hesitant.
Good point.
We
Very
say
good point.
wait. A saying we say in Momo chat is wait, but don't hesitate, right? So we want to wait, capture the moment of the best setups, but we don't want to hesitate when it gets to that moment.
Right. You'll start doing things because of that fear, you know, and it starts to become a habit. That's the problem, you know.
Yeah.
Start continuing that type of pattern.
Yeah.
And you guys were talking about a few times the different traders that have influenced you, and we know that Atlas Momentum Team was obviously a large group effort, and we are doing a little reunion tonight, being joined by two of the original members of Atlas Momentum Team, Shark and B-Dog. They are here with us tonight. Let's bring them in.
B-Dog.
Yeah. What up,
I
Shark?
wonder how far in Shark is on his wine.
We're just waiting on B-Dog to connect. Hi, how are you? Thank you so much for joining us.
Hi, thanks for having me. Really appreciate it. Hello, everybody.
How was your day of trading today?
It's a good day. It's a really good day. So it was pretty fun. Yeah, the market was cooperating with everybody. So for the longs. So yeah, it was a great day. And yeah.
Awesome. Hi, B-Dog. Thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Hello.
What's up, B-Dog?
B-Dog.
There he is.
B-Dog. Let's go.
You guys are such a great fan club of each other. I love it. It's amazing.
Yeah, we go back now a few years, eh, boys?
Yeah, I think so.
That's actually what we wanted to talk to you guys about first. I guess we can start with Shark. Could you tell us a little bit about how Momentum Team started and the first days of it?
Yeah, sure. And B-Dog, feel free to chime in here as I if I forget anything. But yeah, we came over into Atlas when it first started from Cam's room, and we kind of it was obviously nothing what it is today, but B-Dog, maybe you can help me out. I mean, what was kind of the reason that we wanted our own little space?
I think we wanted our own little space because there was just too much noise on the
right. So if you can imagine, right, yeah. So if you could imagine, compared to what Atlas is today, that there was even too much noise, then, So yeah, we just.
And I think early on, we kind of recognized that we kind of had a similar type of trading style where we were just like riding the momentum up, buying low, selling high, holding through the dips. And then I think
It was only
that's,
that easy.
yeah.
But yeah, so then we were speaking to, you know, PJ and AKI Static at the time, and we got him to give us a little area where we started to congregate in that little scalp team area. And then it kind of just grew from there. We started, you know, trading only, you know, the top gainers on the day, and really focusing on, you know, in the start, actually, we were only really focusing on, what was it, maybe the top 3 runners on a day. And you know, I remember people were pretty strict on
Yeah,
that. We were only,
when I
yeah, go
joined you guys were super strict. Like,
Yeah,
don't mention
I think we had
anything.
that. I think we had that criteria. Basically, it had to have news, it had to have volatility, and it had to have like a ton of volume during the pre-market for us to be calling out those plays, right? And then anything else that came on as market hours opened and other tickers were going, but we used to just concentrate on those ones, just pre-market.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, and then it started to grow. People started to come in there and kind of, you know, appreciate what we were doing. And then the next thing that I think that really took it to the next level, and this is also kind of when Bear started coming in, is me and a couple other people, B Dog, we started going on voice and utilizing the voice chat feature, which was really helpful and instrumental, I think, in finding a lot of the success that a lot of the traders that came and grew within scalp teams such as Rhodes really benefited. Because, you know, it's one thing to hear, you know, traders kind of type as we're trying to make really, you know, decisions within a second or a minute, but it's, you know, completely another thing to have that great exchange of ideas via the voice chat, and to be able to communicate so effectively, and, you know, and just, you know, learn together and see what each other are seeing. And, you know, it's just, and I think a lot of people, you know, honed on to that. And yeah.
Definitely, like the team effort in trading, right?
Oh yeah, totally. Yeah. And, you know, we had so many different, you know, especially when Bear joined too, he had been brought just a wealth of knowledge into the group, you know, and just, you know, learning, you know, from each other was just, you know, great and instrumental. So.
Mm-hmm. And I know that since both of you guys were original members of the startup, you guys probably saw the trifecta, as they're referred to now, join and kind of grow in their own trading journey. B-Dog, is there anything that stands out to you specifically about any of these guys when you saw them kind of growing into their own?
Well, I gotta say, I think I probably, you know, Bear was already, you know, established. Rodessa, I just remember him coming in, and I think him and I butted heads quite a bit early on. And
Yeah, I remember that. You sure
I
did.
I think we probably still do. You know, he has his ideas, I have my ideas, and but, you know, I've always told Rhodes, it's like, you know, my heart's, you know, I want to see everybody succeed and whatnot, and you know, there's no, you know, negative intent on my part on anything, so you can't really take what I'm saying in that room serious. But yeah, and then Trotter came on later, and yeah, these two guys have just basically, you know, kind of taken over. You know, sometimes it's even intimidating to come on voice when they're on, right? Because, you know, they're just dominating and providing good insight. And I don't think I'm gonna add too much more to what these guys are saying, right? So yeah, it's been great to see, you know, everybody in the room prospering and growing.
Mm-hmm. And Aria, I think you have the next question, right?
Yeah, it's for B-Dog again, actually. Are you still day trading mostly? Is that something you've always preferred?
Yeah, I've always done day trading. I think, you know, I've been day trading on and off for the last 10 years. I do it while I'm at work, so it's pretty difficult to do it to the level that, you know, some of these guys are doing. I've always got a boss behind behind my shoulder, and my screens are visible when I'm in the office. So, Alt Tab is my friend, like I say, when I'm in the office, because I'm flipping between trading screens and work screens at the same time. So it's pretty difficult. So for me, I like to be done trading within an hour of the first hour of the trading day, and then kind of just monitor and see what's going on for the rest of the day. But since working from home, I can devote a little bit more time to it. But again, work duties call, so I haven't really been able to trade much in the past month here.
And you mainly do small caps, correct?
Yeah, I've always been a small cap guy, but recently I've been trading $100 tickers. So apparently, I never allowed anybody to trade over $10 tickers when we first started either, right? So,
We used to call B-Dog the chat Nazi.
yeah.
Yeah,
But-
dude. When I first came in, dude, B-Dog, I was throwing out some ideas. B-Dog's like, dude, that motherfucker has no volume. Shut the fuck up. I'm like, oh, shit. I was just a baby dragon at that time, dude.
Exactly.
Just learning to fly.
Yeah,
No,
he's
for
but I
me,
know-
it's like everybody's just got to pay their
Fucking
dues
him.
when they
I'm
come
like,
in.
damn it. Yeah.
But I think
What
that's
about Mhm.
I think that's a testament though to the room. I mean, even with B-Dog and Rhodes, but maybe butting heads a little bit, we still, in the scalp, now in the Momo team, always fostering a positive environment and still being respectful and, supporting each other, at the end of the day. And even if one guy kind of gives another, a hard time a little bit, it's all for love. And, at the end of the day, of course, we all want to succeed and want to help
Yeah.
each other succeed. So
Yeah.
I think that's really special.
The
I
only thing
always
we
say,
really
if I'm
don't stand
hammering
for at
on you,
all is
that means
drama.
I love you the most. So,
Right.
Bear always says tough love, huh?
Exactly.
Tough love. Yeah.
That's exactly what it is. So.
I love the whole room energy. It's amazing how connected we become when we're in a room together. It might have to do with the whole dopamine involved in our field of work, and the connections to the people also become stronger. But it's amazing, like how quickly and how much we all bond.
I definitely think
And
that voice, us being on voice really helped build the camaraderie between the team, right?
Yeah.
It's one thing to just be typing to one another, but to actually be talking to one another all day long.
right. And now Zoom.
Yeah.
And
now
shout out
Zoom.
Nola. Shout out Nola for keeping the room clean. Like at one point the room got so fucking crazy. Like Zach Morris said like, oh, go check out Momo or Dan Deity. And like all of a sudden there was like an influx of like 1,000 people, like plus. And then Nola's like, oh fuck.
Yeah.
That shit was crazy.
Yeah. Nolan definitely deserves a shout out for sure for all the work.
Big key to our success.
Yeah, and I know that of course the Momentum team is obviously a multi-person
shout out everyone.
Yeah, everyone's amazing. I was going to have a hard enough time trying to coordinate the interview between 5 guys, but I have contacted some of them and told them we would love to do another follow-up episode talking to more members of the team. But yeah, I think you're right. It's an entire group effort, and people like Nolan who were strict, but there was a reason for it and it made it work. And I think that that's the magic of it all.
Yeah, he's got such a big heart.
I think everybody plays a really nice role in like the Momo team. Like Bearfucker's like super leader. Nola is like security man. Like Odessa is like that boy whiz. You know what I mean? I just like to drink in the middle of the day and take shots if we get a runner.
Shots of what? Tequila?
Yeah. Tequila. There we go. Bring it on.
All jokes aside, Trog is a huge part of the team.
Trog's our muscle.
I'm a what?
You're our muscle.
Muscle? What's that?
Yeah, you're the one that kicks everybody out of the way. You're the one that's pushing bears around right now.
Fuck out of here, bro. You're the bear fucker, bro. You bend him over.
You're a baby bear fucker, bro.
Yeah.
You can feel the love between you both.
Yeah. Well, Chog's the only. Oh yeah, now Shark too. Me and Shark have met in person, and Chogdor and I have met in person. So
Yeah, we met up in Vegas, and you and Shark met in what, Orlando?
Orlando,
just
yeah.
2 weeks ago we hung out.
Oh,
Yeah, that's it. We invited Rodessa, but he didn't want to come out. He's too scared.
Odessa has
Excellent.
school.
This summer, no excuses.
No
Yeah,
excuses,
come
bro.
down.
Shark, are you also mainly day trading, and what kind of assets do you prefer to trade?
No, not so much. I went to the dark side and went to
Don't do it.
no, it's actually funny because Bear was the one for a while telling me about options. And, he's like, oh, you got to check this out. I'm just like, oh, what are the Greeks, delta, gamma, vega. This, it sounds so complicated. I can't figure it out. And then I finally started messing around with it. And then after my first couple of wins, I was like, oh, okay, now I see.
You were addicted.
And now I'm now I'm gone. So I don't really play small caps too much anymore. And yeah, I still day trade. I try to be adaptable and flexible with the market. So I'm always willing to switch my strategy, whether it's long or short, or whether it's sector rotation changes. So that's definitely the plus side of playing options, because you can go short a lot easier, because a lot of stocks are hard to borrow on toss, at least. So no, yeah, I'm still day trading quite a bit now because the market is at all-time highs, and there's a lot of kind of uncertainty. It's hard to gauge where the top is right now. So yes, I am day trading, but as I've gotten older and more through my career, I've actually kind of gone more towards swing trading. It's a little less stressful, and you can get bigger chunks of the pie, in my opinion, through a nice
Yeah,
swing
I
trade.
agree. I feel like there's also less emotions involved, of course. You get to pre-plan your levels on the daily chart, you know what's going on.
Exactly.
And you just let it run, sort of. So you
Exactly.
enjoy swinging options mostly now.
Yeah, that's what I do. And exactly what you were saying, and I think it's a good thing to point out as like a learning kind of point, that when you said with the swing trades, you plan them out beforehand. And a lot of people, you'll see it maybe on Twitter, FinTwit, whatever, people say, let the trade come to you, but no one really kind of explains what that might mean. And what that means is that you're doing the work when the market's closed, planning these trades, finding the support, the resistances, those areas. I'm sure if you guys follow me on Twitter, you see sometimes I'm posting charts at like 1:30 in the morning, because I'm doing the homework afterwards, and then I just wait for it to come to my entry. I'm not chasing something, I just wait. And that's, kind of what it means when people say, let the trade come to you. I'm not out there searching. I have my plans, my entries, and if it comes, it comes. If it doesn't, okay, then it doesn't. So.
And if I could just interject something really quick. We were just talking about the integral parts that each member plays in Atlas Momentum Team. And I would also like to bring up that the attention span of you guys has a lot to do with this, because they are in the Zoom chat right now, just every time someone's talking, just still messing around. And it's amazing. They have this wonderful rapport with each other, but it's hilarious because we need a moderator in the Zoom room already.
It's all about the dance.
Here comes the host. The host is laying down. Okay, guys.
I'm gonna call Nolan.
Oh God.
I'm blaming John.
All right, let's get back on format here.
Yeah.
But yeah, no.
Exactly.
So the next segment that we are doing is for our Twitter questions, where we let the followers submit questions to ask you guys. My first one, I'll start with Turtle Man Rodessa. Since Since Atlas Momentum Team typically focuses on small caps, are any of you trading large caps and or options as well right now? I know we talked about that a little bit, but Rodessa, do you trade options at all?
Yeah, sometimes I'll play like SPY weeklies, but I don't really know too much about options, so I'm not someone to ever ask for advice. I'm in the process of learning them, but right now what I'll do is I'll play large caps and I'll pretty much borderline full account it. And I know, you say, full account it and people get like all freaked out, like that's crazy and like and whatnot.
Yeah, see my
But, like,
reaction?
yeah, yeah, but like they're large caps, right? They're not pennies. You're not going to get like a 10% knife. You can manage it properly, right? And you need a bit more capital, especially if you're not playing options to get anything out of the move, right? But large caps are definitely easier to trade, in my opinion. They respect the hell out of they respect technical analysis. So I think it's good for people to possibly even start there when they're trading and to go there during this time of the market specifically, because although they might not be having the big moves, just like the penny stock market isn't having big moves right now, you can still learn a lot from the intraday moves that they do give. Whether you're looking for a day trade or a swing trade. I right now in this market, I've been playing large caps a lot. My favorites right now are like Tesla, Facebook, Apple, the main ones that everyone looks at, every day. Those are my personal favorite. I know for large cap world, it is revolved around that kind of strategy where you just find your favorites, right?
Exactly.
The ones you understand the personality of, and you just trade those, right? And that's also a strategy you can move to, mid caps or small caps. You can understand the personality of a volatile ticker and just continuously trade that. Eventually, you're just going to nail the top and bottom because you understand the personality so well. I learned how to do that from a few people. One in particular, Pat Can't Ski. Shout out Pat Can't Ski.
But can he ski?
Yeah,
No,
he can't. He's actually a badass.
He got a concussion. He told him the ski, he's got a concussion.
I love Tesla. I don't know if I'd ever trade the options due to the volatility it provides. But it's
Come, Rodessa, come.
it's a great ticker for it's a great ticker to trade for its volatility. Even if you trade, one share is very small, but you can still get like fast food restaurant money from just one share, right? Off of a nice day trade. But Palmer from now part of the Momo floor showed me Tesla. He trades it every day in the morning, and it's definitely a bit addicting. When nothing else is moving, you can bet that one is.
So for all of you guys who are adding in new adaptations with the slower market, I know, Rodessa, you've become familiar with Tesla. Shark, obviously you're trading around everything. The second part of this question is that these new adaptations that you have come to, will you continue trading them moving forward after small caps heat up again? Whoever wants to start first.
I'll start just because I went into Dogecoin. Whatever, the market's slow, I always trade Doge. I know it's sounds funny, but I've gotten a lot of good moves off of it, and so has a lot of other people. But I think once pennies and small caps come back, there's nothing that can really beat them. I personally don't trade large caps, and I haven't. And I think I've traded one share of Tesla before, but I think Bear could probably answer that, or B-Dog a little bit more than I.
Yeah, I got to go with the bread and butter once it's back. Small caps, volatility, and anything that's got that volatility, I'm basically going to play. So.
Yeah, and I started with large caps myself. I started doing large caps and value investing, and then transitioned into options and then into small caps. I kind of did it the reverse of most of these guys here, I think.
Yeah.
But I try to diversify, what asset classes I'm putting my money in quite a bit. I'll flow with the season, try to stay dynamic. I think diversification is huge, and staying successful in the market. It also gives you that, keeping a little bit of market money in each little sector also gives you that little bit of view and a little bit of skin in the game in each one of those sectors as well. That helps you better,
survive.
better survive, or just it gives you
Right.
it gives you more of a reason to pay attention more to that sector. If you actually have a position on that, you'll be more apt to really learn it versus if you're just dipping your toes every once in a while into it. So I like to stay diversified and trade all asset classes. So
Bear, for like newer traders, would you suggest them sticking into one like small cap or large cap and kind of learning that?
You need to focus on one thing first. Learn one, because trading at different asset classes ultimately come down to trading. Being a good trader is going to be virtually the same whether you're trading small caps, large caps, options, futures. The mentality, the understanding, the way stocks work or the way asset classes work, supply and demand zones, basic economics, that's what's going to get you further along. So focusing on one aspect of trading, whether it be small cap, mid cap, large caps, options, focus on one thing, learn it first, then take that knowledge and apply it to other asset classes. Definitely.
Absolutely. I personally don't even like to trade large cap and small cap on the same day, hour. Only because I already got enough to look at. I don't want to have to keep switching mentality, because I'm sure one of you mentioned this, or all of you. Everything trades differently. Even within large caps, like Tesla trades different than Facebook, but that's fine. But when you mix that with penny stock mentality, some do it. I prefer not to.
Yeah.
So I also wanted to ask which one of you guys are the biggest dip buyer, reversal pattern guy from the team.
Shark always was really good at the dips. I always admired, when I first got on the scalp chat, I always admired Shark's ability to notice dip buys.
Thanks, man. Appreciate that.
Sniper Shark.
The old washout long.
Yeah, washout long. That was it.
Yeah,
The old washout long.
Bro.
Did it burn you out? You became a swing trader now? You did too many reversal patterns?
The washout long is a different type, is a specific type of trade, but no, I personally, there's always different styles of trading. Of course, you've got your breakout traders, and you've got traders trading into supply and demand. I personally always like the risk to reward better of trading into that support and trying to nail that, because then I'm risking 1 R usually, or 1.5 R, versus playing the breakout. Versus trying to play the breakout.
Techniques, you can easily get 1 to 4.
Yeah, and that kind of goes into what so another one of the guests, I believe on a podcast, said about waiting for confirmation. And again, it's there's no right or wrong way to trade per se. It's up to everyone's style. But for me, I'm not like really a confirmation trader. By the time the confirmation, you see it, you've missed the move. You missed a lot of it. So I'd rather try to get in on that, on that pull in, and take advantage of that better risk to reward. When the breakout traders are buying the breakout, I'm selling into that strength and saying, all right, bye-bye, see you later.
That's good. We also had another guest that was saying the same thing. He does never wait for confirmation. I personally do. And my reason for it is I don't want my mentality to change. Like when I see that red, like I still haven't worked on doing it the way, having the strategy, knowing it's okay. At the end of the day, I might be green. I don't want to see any red. So I wait for confirmation, but I'll wait, over time, maybe I'll, start.
Yeah, and a huge thing behind people's strategies too is it's a reflection of their personality type, right? So one strategy that might work for Bear might not work for me just strictly due to my personality type.
Yeah.
And then the reverse is true as well.
So what does that say about my personality? I need
Well,
confirmation.
let's read your palm real quick.
Yeah, let's
do chart palm reading.
Yeah, but at the end of the day too, it's a beautiful thing because everyone's different personalities, right? Different ways trading makes up the entire chart we see every day.
Right. There's
That's a
five.
beautiful way to put it.
I'm usually the guy that's buying off a shark because I'm usually buying the breakout and the upswing. So,
And it works for you. It works for you.
yeah, that's the way I've always played it, right? So I've tried to start buying on the dip, but and going in with better entries, but most of the time it's a market buy on the upswing and riding it.
Want more Trader Babes? Subscribe now and connect with us on social media for exclusive content and access you won't find anywhere else. And we'll see you right here on the next unforgettable episode of Trader Babes.